What is going on, everybody? It's Jay Zach from Jay Zach in the Red Zone. I have my final mock draft here until tomorrow. So I'm going to go through these picks quite quickly. I'm trying not to make this video way too long. This mock draft is kind of half what I think is going to happen, half what I want is going to happen. This is splashes of those two all inside this mock draft, completely for fun. Okay, so number one overall, we have the Cardinals taking Nick Bosa. I think it's all smoke. I don't think they're going to take Kyler Murray. I think it's completely smoke, guys. I'm so excited to see if they're actually going to take him tomorrow or not. And I think number two, I have the 49ers taking Quinn Williams. I think he's best player available. I think you make room. I know you've taken defensive tackles. You need exterior. You need, people on the edge. I think just move Solomon Thomas out to the edge and let Quinn Williams and Forrest Buckner wreak havoc from the interior. And then you got D Ford coming off of one end. I think it's a great pick from the 49ers. And I have the Giants trading up from 6, giving up a first, giving up number 6 this year, number 37 this year, and a second next year to take Kyler Murray, quarterback out of Oklahoma. Giants take their future franchise quarterback. Number 4, I have Josh Allen going to the Raiders. Good pick, your replacement for Khalil Mack. And we have the Bengals trading up with the Buccaneers. I don't know what picks they have, so whatever. I just know it's possible. They take Dwayne Haskins, quarterback out of Ohio State. And the Jets, with the pick they received from the Giants, are going to take Jonah Williams, offensive tackle out of Alabama. Going to go and for sure up that offensive line, protect Sam Darnold, who they think is going to be their new franchise quarterback. Then at 7, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Andre Dillard, offensive tackle out of Washington State. My second best tackle on the board, best pass blocking tackle. I think you take him, solidify the offensive line for Jacksonville. Gotta get rid of Garrett Flowers. And number 8, we have the Detroit Lions taking Greedy Williams, cornerback at LSU. Excuse me. Thing about Greedy, I think he perfectly fits their system. They like to play a nice man press cover corner situation over there in Detroit, and you put him on the opposite side of Darius Big Play Slay. You got yourself 2 phenomenal corners on the outside there. And then we have the Redskins trading up with the Bills to take Drew Lock, quarterback out of Missouri. They see quarterbacks flying off the board, and now they're getting scared. They have to trade up and get their future quarterback. Let him sit a year behind. Let him sit a year behind. I forgot his name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The guy who came from Denver. I don't know why his head is Case Keenum. Sorry, there it is. And then number 10, we have Devin White going to the Broncos. They're ecstatic because Devin White actually fell to them. They did not expect this to happen at all, and they're excited. Buccaneers taking Devin Bush when you knew they originally probably wanted to take Devin White, but thought it was best to trade down. Probably got an offer they could not refuse from the Bengals, and they're going to take the second best interior linebacker on the board. Not on the board left, but in the draft class. And then the Packers are going to take TJ Hawkinson of Iowa. Sorry, they need a tight end, and they're going to take the best one available left in this draft class. Number 13, with the Miami Dolphins taking Montez Sweat, defensive end out of Mississippi State. Completely overrated, but a lot of teams are really high on him now because that combine. So I think this is cool where he could go. With the Atlanta Falcons taking Ed Oliver out of Houston, they need interior help, and Ed Oliver has fallen into their lap, and they're excited. Now the Bills, from the pick they received from the Redskins, are going to take Jawan Taylor, offensive tackle out of Florida. They too also just got their rookie quarterback, and they need to protect him, and they're going to take the tackle to help them do that. And then the Panthers, are going to take Cleveland Ferrell, defensive end out of Clemson. I think he fits their scheme very well, and it's a position of need, so I think this is a great pick here. And then at 17, Giants are ecstatic because Brian Burns, just out of FSU, just fell into their lap. Perfectly fits their scheme. I think he's the best edge rusher left on the board. I think he's the 3rd best edge rusher in the draft class behind Nick Bosa and Josh Allen, and he's here, and it's perfect for the Giants. And then at 18, we have Dalton Reiser going to from Kansas State, going to Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota, it doesn't matter who they take. They just need some offensive line help on that team. They need to double in on offensive line. Go offensive line in the second round as well. If they can't, just whatever you can, just get some offensive line and help Kirk Cousins, because holy crap. And then we have the Titans taking DK Metcalf, receiver out of Ole Miss. Another one of those guys who's highly overrated. I think A.J. Brown's the best receiver in the draft class, but DK Metcalf is going to be the first receiver off the board, most likely. And then the Steelers are excited because Byron Murphy has fallen to their lap. They need corner. It's a perfect fit. The Seahawks are going to take Nasir Adderley out of Delaware, get their replacement to ET3. Falcons are going to finally take a receiver, and A.J. Brown out of Ole Miss. I think the best receiver in the draft class. Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball, but get him somebody who can try to throw the ball too, and A.J. Brown. Texans need help at guard, at tackle. They're good at everywhere. I mean, the only good position they have is center, and they're going to take Cody Ford, somebody who I think can play both. I think somebody who probably is better off at guard and that's who they're going to take is Cody Ford. And now the Raiders are ecstatic because they were able to get Josh Allen, and now they get DeAndre Baker as well, the third best corner in this year's draft class, the best corner left on the board. And the Eagles are going to take Amani Oruwariye, the next best corner left on the board. Actually, I think he's my number 5. I think David Long is better, but this is another one of those things I think is going to happen instead of, I think would happen instead of what I would do. And I think Amani Oruwariye is typically the next best corner on most people's board. And the Colts are going to go interior here at Christian Wilkins, somebody that they think is probably the next best defensive tackle left on the board. I personally think Jerry Tillery is the second best defensive tackle in the draft class. I think he's the third best defensive lineman in the class. But Christian Wilkins is still a phenomenal player out of Clemson. I think he was maybe the best player on the defensive line, him or Cleveland Ferrell. And then in 27, the Raiders are back up. They're going to take Noah Fant, tight end out of Iowa, take the other tight end out of Iowa, get another offensive weapon. Jared Cook is now gone. And the Chargers are not going to take anybody but defensive tackle, and they're going to get the second best defensive tackle in the draft class. And Jerry Tillery is somebody who I think is personally a top 10 pick in this year's class, but I think he will go late in the first because it's just all the hype. And then the Seahawks are back up. They're going to take Marquise Brown, receiver out of Oklahoma. Hollywood Brown. They need a receiver. They just signed Russell Wilson to that big contract. Typically, I'd go offensive line here, but there's no offensive line that I would like to reach for here if I'm the Seahawks. So I'm going to go ahead and take Marquise Brown. And then the Packers are back up again. Going to take Jeffrey Simmons. They need interior help. Jeffrey Simmons not going to be able to start right away, but he's the best player left available on the board for sure. I think Jeffrey Simmons is another top 10 player. I think he's my third best defensive tackle in the draft class behind Jerry Tillery. And then Garrett Bradbury to the Rams. They need a center, and they're going to get this one out of NC State. And the last pick of the draft is going to be the New England Patriots. They're going to take Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle to Clemson. You get your replacement to Trey Flowers. So yeah, guys, I just went through that really, really quickly. I didn't want to make this video too long. If you wanted to type in the comment section what you agree and what you disagree, guys, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, drop a comment section down below. Subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys tomorrow during the draft when I'm live with Gio for the draft class. By the way, Gio is Kid Blue.